Morning, good morning all. See if we're working here. Let me know in YouTube chat if everything is working. Hopefully. Zoom will be working because there's nothing wrong with Zoom. Seems like YouTube is still not working. Let me restart it. See if that fixes it on YouTube. No one's messaging, so I think it's broken. Working? Oh, now you guys speak. For fuck's sake, man. All right. We're good. Let's get it. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday here. So let's have a look what we got going on from Tuesday. Apart from Ferrari disrespecting all Italians, we are back here at the charts. And yeah, let's go start off with the calendar. Probably Airbnb Wi-Fi again. Yeah, bro. I live in a cave, bro. I'm in a shared apartment. I share it with 40 people. I just have a little bunk bed. So it's a little bit tricky at times because you have all these guys watching videos and stuff like this, you know. So that's where I live, you know. So sometimes they take all the bandwidth, you know, and I can't, you know, can't afford it. So yesterday was bank holiday. We did get some moves during bank holiday. Today no news. Tomorrow as well, pretty clean. So nothing really we need to worry about here as we come into the last week of the month. I trade on my PSP. I can't afford a laptop. Bro, I'm trading on my Game Boy, bro. PSP is too advanced, bro. You're lucky you have a PSP. I'm on my Game Boy trying to trade, bro. It's very difficult. Imagine. That's why it took me ages to set up stream today. Because I'm streaming from a Game Boy. So the amount of engineering that went into this stream definitely deserves some recognition, right? So let's have a look here at the analysis. We start off with the daily time frame. Previous daily closing bullish above the range here. This is a gap though, okay? So see if we can see the gap here. So we did open up on a gap with market open here as we're coming towards that deal resolution. A little bit of positivity that's starting to weigh off a little bit. Gold is not being fundamentally affected as much as other pairs. As much as indices based on basically fundamental news from the Middle East tensions calming down. But if we're looking at price action here, we have a mixed bias here. We have a little bit of a 30-minute right here. So this gap is a gap. This candle here is full gap. If we want to go for the gap fill here, we do have the 4-hour closing bearish. So we basically need price to break out of the range. We tried once, we failed. So I need to see something closing below to go fill the rest of the gap because we've tried already. So for me, selling from here down feels a bit risky. At the same time, we've tried some upside, but we're closer towards an upside closure. So if we can get some sort of strong closure, probably back above this 5-minute, we could actually look to bounce out of this range, maybe come back up to here, and then it wants to continue sells. We are more bearish price action. So the buys here, I'm not too sold on the buys just yet. So we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe it wants to play a bounce during a London and then continue down during NY. US strikes Iran, yes, but that's not going to... they're still pushing at a deal being made, right? So yeah, it pushes it back a little bit. But again, it's very hit and miss, meaning that this is what we spoke about last week. It's like there's deal, but there's a no deal. You know, it's really, until something happens, it's all random. But we've dropped oil prices, which is interesting to see the drop in oil prices. This is also the same as Dixie. We dropped a little bit of recovery over yesterday, which is why we saw gold dump as well. So what do we see here? We see obviously gold prices dropped, which has now pushed the stock market bullish. So if we look at DAX here, DAX is actually almost at all-time high here. So very impressive move yesterday off DAX with a gap here. DAX does like to come fill the gaps, so we might see a price push back. But at the moment here, we have daily closing bullish, we have 4-hour closing bullish, we are bullish bias, and it looks like we do want to probably continue back up into this 4-hour high and see what's up here. So we'll see if we can maybe break out. Maybe we reach all-time high today. It's definitely possible, but I want to be a buyer above this 4-hour resistance and see if we can fill this wick and continue higher. If not, look for pullbacks to continue up bullish. Nasdaq on the other hand, again, we have this gap sitting here. Price this morning is trying to bounce off of London. We obviously have this very strong 4-hour candle close. Daily candle close, which is a breakout, but we have the gap. We also have 4-hour trying to create support. We haven't really retested the 4-hour support, but when we look at structure now, we're trying to change structure, right? 1 hour created a rejection, 30-minute, very similar to what gold is doing at the moment. So we have this little 15-minute resistance here. If we can pop above here, there could be some of those buys, the same as what we're seeing in gold. So it's very similar to gold, creating a base, maybe for a London pullback and NY to continue down. Moving back to gold here, I'm going to put a little box above the 5. I would like to see something clear. This 5 would give me more confidence of buys if we can get above this 5. Then I'll be looking to just hop into some buys, see if we can get a little bit of a bounce. If it fakes out and closes below here, I can switch to the sell side. It's kind of difficult at this time because you have both directions that can make sense here. But there's signs of, obviously bouncing as well. So we have about 3 minutes for this candle to close. We'll see how this candle closes. This daily is also important here. How we closed. This could be the flipping point. The top of a gap is definitely a bouncing zone, right? Price does like to bounce at the top of a gap. Only thing I don't like is it's looking very slow. You want to see it dump down a little bit faster, start to pump up again. So I definitely want to see something close above the 5. The fake out of 5 minute was fast, exactly. That's why I want to see something get above on the 5. Because I don't trust. This pops up here, next candle is breaking the structure, we're going for sells. I mean, this candle could not close above last second, huh? Totally possible as well. Just me or fake outs been the most consistent? Yeah, especially gold. Gold is definitely what's been happening. Harry, is it me or you rarely seem to trade Friday nowadays? Oh, I trade Friday privately in the group. So I'm there every Friday actually, just not on YouTube. So it's not you. The new Ferrari is nuts. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know what they're thinking. So looks like we'll get a close above the 30, but I don't think we'll get one above the 5. It's always possible. It's pretty strong close coming there. There you go. Wonder if that has bottom wick on broker. I mean top wick, sorry. It does. It's a nice close. It's a nice close for sure. just not above the 5, which makes things a little bit difficult. You know, we could argue it with a deeper bottom wick here. So I think if we get a deep bottom wick, we can argue that this buy, you know, because then it's valid, you know. If we're gonna fake out, then we'll go up, grab liquidity. At least here on the flip, we might get some power to push through, and then if it rejects, we know we can be out early. There's a very nice bottom wick here. So I will give it a shot here, breaking the high. 5 close right at, even here 5 close, but look at the bottom wick. What's the reason of us now going all the way down here to flip and break through the highs if we're not gonna push? If we just flipped and push, I wouldn't be in, right? But look at the what's happening now. We're coming back to retest. So if buyers are gonna take control right now, we need to see that action come through. I mean, I was planning stops to be here. So let's see where this bottom wick comes, but now it's making sense because there's no reason for us to flip if we don't want to kind of go up. If this is going to be a fake out, then it would put this. Where would you put SL? Yeah, below just the support. So wherever this bottom wick really is where the stop loss is going to be. But this is the importance in this scenario, waiting for that type of bottom wick. Because there's also an argument if we break structure to sell price down to here. But we need a 15 close because we have a lot of rejection wicks as well. What's Nas doing? Failed to close above as well. I wonder now if it makes sense to wait, if this is going to close bearish, to wait for a 5 closing above. I kind of feel like that's a smart idea. Because I don't want to, now that we have a strong bearish candle, unless this closes doji. If this closes doji, it's different. But if we have a strong bearish candle, I don't want to be stuck in the scenario where the next candle opens, retest here to grab liquidity, and then dumps again, continuing that bearish candle. So I'll see base in 1 minute. In 1 minute, if I see this candle close weak, I'll keep the order. If I see it close strong, like below the 30, then I'm kind of tempted to just wait for a 5 to get the extra confirmation. Yeah, that kind of says your answer, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna delete that. So yeah, that's no longer valid, which is nice because it kept us safe waiting for that idea. But now we pull back into the range, so it has to choose a direction soon. Harry, I joined your waiting list. I really like to learn from you. Yes, bro. You'll be accepted soon, hopefully. Welcome, welcome to the team. We're also chilling at daily. You mean the support? It's a gap, so it's a little bit different. If you look at it on your broker or something, it will make sense. Spread higher for everyone today? Not really, man. 1.1 pips on gold on Vantage. Does gold S3 on 1 hour make sense with big stops? You might as well sell earlier if you're going to go with that idea, because that means you're just sold on sells. So if you're just going to run those stops, just press sell. You know what I mean? Because that's what you're basing on. You know, you're selling into a consolidation. Also, one break of lows, then by that time you can run a better stop. Because remember, S3s are continuation trades. You know? So you want to, if you're going to catch the continuation, you just want to be early in it. Still have buy stop active? No, I don't. Morning, good morning. Can you look at my geo ID a little further up on there? Damn. Yes, I see it now. 50-minute cells get closed below. Let's see. It's loading. Give it a sec. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Typically, you want to try sell earlier to get back down to here, but it makes it tough since you got this wick. So taking the breakout is fine as well. Yeah. We have had nice continuation, close below continuation, close below continuation. So this one would make sense. What advice would you give me to pass a prop firm? There's many steps to pass a prop firm. I made a basic video on my YouTube. You can watch that. That would be some good advice. This one here you can watch. Just do it would be good advice. What is this, a Nike ad? Five minutes to the open now. Watch podcast with Gary Brecker and Wim Hof yesterday. He said he invented just do it. So DAX open here. What would I be looking for on DAX open? From your experience, Harry, what do you think about Alex Gonzalez's challenge of turning 100 into 1 million? Is that even possible? Bro, of course it's possible, bro. You can turn $1 into 10 million, bro. I don't even know why people are doubting 100 to a million when you can turn $1 into 20 million, bro. Of course. I think people should start a challenge 50 cents to 50 mil. This should be nice. 50 to 50. 50 cents to 50 mil. I think that would be a lot easier in my opinion. Definitely. 50 cents to 50 mil. Less than $1, I think. You know? What about 5,000 to 100K? Yeah, that's possible. But unlikely again. Unless someone does it live, I can see it documented, I can see all of the statements and stuff like that. You know? I can feel the sarcasm. Yeah, of course it's fake. Let's see, 2 minutes for this close. If you took 100 and tried to double it, you'd make 1.6 million in 14 trades. Yeah, have you seen the probability to win 16 trades in a row? Sorry, 14 trades in a row. It's just the probabilities are not there. Even if they did, they won't put it publicly. If they did, they would put it publicly because that's easy to put, right? Document every trade, not that all of a sudden you wake up and then, oh, this trade is up, this trade is down. There's many videos on YouTube actually exposing that challenge. Like, it's totally possible. It's totally possible, like... But you can't do it with proper risk, yeah? You have to over-risk. That's for sure. Alright, so we have the 1 hour close here. It looks like we're closing below. I can explain these challenges, how they work. You just need, like, you have the beginning section, mid section, and end section. If any one of those sectors go wrong, you don't do it, right? Beginning section, you have to flip your account from 5 to 10K. Then you have leverage. Then you need to make it up to 15K. So you need to be risking 3K per trade, 4K per trade, right? And then you have to get the midsection right. That's like from 20K to like 50K. And then from 50K, you can start risking 10K. If you mess up there, then you're going to be back to square one. The thing that I don't understand is everyone who does these challenges, and I know the reality of trading, you can do it. It's totally possible to go from 5 to 100K or from 100 to a mil, but it won't take as short time as they take. Like, it's possible, but it would be snakes and ladders, meaning that you could get first, let's take a 1,000 to 10,000. That's very doable, that's easy. Or 1,000 to 50,000, very doable, right? In order to do that, you would first need to gamble the first trade, which is very hard because you need to get the leverage to do it. So let's take 5K to 50K. That's realistic as well, right? 5K to 50K, not too difficult, but you need to be over risking. The question is, let's say you get to 25K and you're at 5K risk and you take 2 losses in a row. That means you lose 10K. You know what I mean? I mean, what about traders like with 20 years experience, someone like Tom Hugard, right? Who's written many books and stuff like that. Just last month, He had a 100K account. He built it to 130K. So that's like 15% back-to-back months. In one day, he lost the 30K. And then he lost more and he put his account negative to 95K. He publicly showed that. So why doesn't that happen to these guys who do the challenges from 100 to 1 mil? Why don't they get stuck in that? How come every trade they take is perfect? It's just not reality. You can flip accounts, but it's gonna be more of a process. Even with swing trading, he sometimes gets 1 to 5. It's not about 1 to 5. It's about consistency. The fact that you believe turning 100 to 1 mil and you're so convinced on it, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Like my goal to you, here's my goal. Before anyone talks to me, okay? Before anyone talks to me, try turn $100 to 1,000. Please do that first. And see. You know, that's a great achievement to turn 100 to 1,000. But you know what's crazy? People don't realize that there's an easier way to do this and make money if you have low capital. If you know how to trade and you follow, let's say, my system, because my system is the only one I can vet for, right? It's the only one I can talk about. In my system, if you buy a $100 prop firm account and you pass that account, right, you can get 50K of leverage. With that 50K of leverage, you can easily get a 1K payout. Now you've essentially flipped 100 to 1K. And you didn't have to over risk. I mean, in the challenge, yes, you did, but you're not going crazy like risking your $100 and all the time. It's the same challenge. I did math last time on this 100 to 1 million challenge. And I said to myself, I did the math. I did the math 100 to 1 million. And it was less than 1% chance. And I said to myself, if there was a 1% chance that I could flip 100 to 1 million, even a 1% chance, of course I would do it. Why? Because I would only have to risk, what is that? What's 1% of 100? It's like 10K. I would only have to risk 10K to make 1 million. So why wouldn't I risk 100K to make 10 million if that was the math? And that's the problem with the industry. People are so focused on turning 100 to 1 million, they forget about making $10,000 is great money, $5,000 is great money, $8,000 is great money, because they're hyper fixated on the big numbers because it's normal. I have one question. How can those guys get Bugatti, several sports cars, villas? Because they sell services with very high tickets and they have a lot of clients. He had 3,000 members. Let's do the math. He had 3,000 members for his ticket of $2,500 for his 3-day boot camp. So let's do the math. 3-day boot camp. He had a 3-day boot camp, so only 3 days of his time he spent, and he had 3,000 people join. So 2,500 times 3,000. He made $7.5 million from his 3,000 leads. Of course, bro. 3-day bootcamp costs that much. So of course they can make money from other revenue sources, which there's no harm if they're offering great value. $2,500 is not that much in the big scheme of things, but for 3 days, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. For a full mentorship, it's cheap, honestly, especially from someone who's advanced. You know. So we see here, look at gold trying to breach up here. 9 minutes for this candle to close. DAX here dumped. Nasdaq probably followed. Nasdaq, we have some clean zones below if it wants to break out today. We have to see how it reacts at the bottom of the range. A lot of reactions from here.
Would you count the gap as a clean zone on Nasdaq?
Yeah, you can count it as a clean zone, but you need to watch what's behind the zone. Does that make sense? So you always be like, you see how this is a support here behind the zone? So you would consider this. Imagine the zone is just nothing, which it really isn't. So you'd still look at it like this, and you'd be like, okay, that could be something. And if there was, then you look at the next zone, which would be the 4 hour, and then the next zone is here. So you're just looking through the zone. You don't ignore what behind. If I'm able to do the $30 to 1,000 challenge, can I tag you? Yeah, you can tag me anyways, but 30 to 1,000 is not bad. It's just how many tries will it take, you know? Thanks for the explanation. I was honestly shocked watching his videos about this 1 million challenge. Yeah. I think it was a great display of his. He's amazing at making challenges, and the way he does it, like, I have uttermost respect for him. It's very cool. How much would you recommend to risk on Top Step 50k account? Once you pass, like 1% is good. Who are we talking about? Now, someone asked me if $100 to 1 million is real and realistic. And long story short, I told them it's not. And then they told me the guy who did it. And I said, although I don't think it's realistic or something that people should be aiming for, I said I do respect the guys, you know. Who's the guy advertising? His name is Alex G. I think he's a cool dude though. Definitely social media he's got right. Very cool social media, always doing challenges, very engaging. Great job he's done at that. Amazing job. It's not easy. Does it look like we're doing Nasdaq or gold trade here? Hard to say at the moment, man. Hard to say at the moment. We need to be analyzing both. We need to be keeping an eye on both. That's the plan, right? DAX is, we tried to break out on gold here. We just rejected again. Nasdaq as well is getting to the bottom of the range. If it rejects, it's going to be the same story as gold at the moment. People who believe in this stuff shouldn't be trading. They should stay away in this space. I used to believe in that stuff. So I can get it. It's definitely fine. The thing is that there's so much money to be made in this space. It's just our minds are in the wrong mindset to make the money. That's what I found out, you know? Surely he shouldn't just be focused on social media rather than taking advantage. Depends on the legitimacy of what he presents. Like, ignorant people want to learn, right? There's very few people who would rather learn from me than him, because from me it's more legitimate approach. Is Maven instant accounts legit? No one in our team has used it, so I'm not sure, my friend. We don't have anyone in the group using Maven. If there was someone, they can give their opinion. I think there was one person who used it. Yo, what we saying? Yo, man, good morning. NQ cells look okay. Yeah, we just lack 5-minute structure, which we could make on this candle. The next candle closes below. I don't really want to take a sell and put this stop loss 48 points. We'll see in 2 minutes. Gold rejected again. DAX is trying to recover a little bit. Nasdaq is now flipping, so we might actually get the close below. We might have to go aggressive on Nas if this is going to be a big breakout. Let's see in 2 minutes though. We do have now 1 minute structure, which I like, but we need to see how far this falls. Five support on this low. Bro, that low is totally gone. Yeah, it's quite hard now with that massive push. Did you watch Canadian GP? No, too late for me. One minute only option, it seems. Even 1 minute you couldn't take the trade there. You have no closes, no 5 close below, no 15 close below, no 30-minute close below. 1 hour is even closing bullish here. You can't. You're going against everything. You're going against 1 hour bullish, 30-minute bullish, 15-minute nothing closing below, no 5-minute candle closing below, still respecting 5-minute support. 1 minute structure closes below finally, no top wick dump. And now you're back to break even. Very difficult. The potential of a wick fill here is a potential. It's a potential wick fill, but we need a strong top wick for that to happen. You know, we need definitely a strong top wick. So even if this wick gets filled without the top wick here, I don't mind. It's not my setup. But if I do get a strong top wick, then I will attempt the wick fill here. Otherwise, I need to be careful. That's why I don't want to go straight away, because this could be a liquidity grab from the lows and we close back inside the range. Right? So that's why I need the confirmation of next candle to give me strong upside move to prove to me buyers are now coming to the market. They fail, and then we continue for the sells. I can put stop loss wherever that wick is, and I can rely on the flip. If it just goes for the wick fill now, then that's it. And the gap top, not sure what you mean, my friend. And the gap top. So yeah, this is not big enough top wick for me to just go rip a wick fill, as this can be a liquidity grab. We can start to flip bullish, and then I'm in trouble. If today is just a dumping day, then I can start using lower time frame here, 1 minute time frame to try to find entries. That's fine. I have a gap in front on the broker. Remember losing trade when you said react from the top? Yeah, the top of the gap is the same on futures. We actually have quite a long way on futures. On my broker, we also have until we basically get to this spot here, which is that 15-minute, yeah, this spot here. So we have a lot of room, even once we break. The nice thing is if we take the lower time frame sells, we could get a smaller stop loss. So it's not really the worst thing here. I might look to sell this 1 minute if we get a good top wick. Not bad top wick. So you can re-break its lows. Go, re-break its highs, then give us the flip. Hard to enter because we have rejection on 5 as well. This is not New York session. We might also have gold closing below here in about 1 minute. That would be interesting. Or not, yes, definitely, or not. Definitely works both ways. Let's see, I want a stronger close, maybe where my mouse is, and then break a 5-minute low. That could work. We have no confirmations on gold. Yeah, we just have to rely on the heavy volume coming through here. We don't have 30, we don't have 1 hour. So we just have to rely on volume. That's why I said if it could strong, but it's not even closing below. Look at Nasdaq pulling back here, giving us rejection candle again. This is why I didn't want to sell this 1 minute here, because there was not enough liquidity, right? You can see if I sold this 1 minute, let's say perfectly, 16 points gives me about 7 points. Yeah, it's not bad enough probably to get to break even, but I need to see liquidity being grabbed. Now we have 2 candles here. It's definitely more interesting to get a close below here, especially if we can re-break its own low, because if it can re-break its own low, now we'll be re-breaking its own 15-minute low, which means we can get a push instead of a liquidity grab. Anything that respects around this area here now will start to get this rounding bottom here, and then that's where we can start to break structure, and then you get an upside move. But anything now closing below here will give us a small scalp potential. So this is like a crucial area right now. Crucial area. So let's see, if it closes below here, I'll be able to take a quick scalp sell, tight stop loss, quick break even.
On the 1 minute, is it?
Yeah. Five-minute close looks city. What do you mean city? Oh, shitty. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's why we have to re-break the low, because people get lost on the 5. Look at the 15. Does that look bad? Doesn't look that bad. So that's why we can use the 1. again, if it's not going to re-break its own low, it's probably going to make a higher low, which is why we need to get below here. That's the whole part of that plan. The big difference here, we have a 15 close, right? This is going to be the key of this trade. Come on, bro, enter. Enter and lose money, bro? No, thank you, bro. I would be losing if I entered right now. Straight going towards stop loss. So I'm okay, bro. Anyways, if you guys enjoying the stream, make sure to leave a like on the stream. You know the drill. 300 people here. Appreciate everyone showing up. Only 50 likes. Everyone is sleeping. Make me cry. You see what I mean? We break structure. What did I draw just a few seconds ago? That rounding formation can happen. Exactly why you need that extra confirmation. This is completely advanced analysis of why not to enter this one, how price rounds, and now you avoid. Imagine you're holding this first one, you almost stopped out, which I wouldn't recommend to hold the first one, but it shows that, okay, I was right in this scenario. And look now, boom, then you get your stop loss smash because you're trusting it to continue down. And this is like a classic trap because price puts you into a lower high, right? Price puts you into a lower high and you're like, oh, okay, this should continue down. Nope, not today. When will you start to consider buys after such a drop? Bro, Alex, bro, your mindset is when something goes down, you start to look for buys. When something goes up, you start to look for sells. So you need to change that mindset. Think about what's happening now. Don't think about, oh, okay, when am I going to start buying now? It's gone down. Forget about that. You know, because you always don't follow momentum and then you get stuck in the reversals and then you ask me, oh, damn, why did I lose there? Follow on momentum. You have so much confirmation. Now you broke structure towards downside. All of this, you need at least 15-minute candle closing back in the range, some sort of 5-minute structure change. Then maybe you can go for buys. Looks like the chart manipulated a bit here, the lows. We're coming back here on gold, coming back probably on DAX, but we're not going anywhere. That's the issue, right? Where are we coming back into? The shitty range we started in. Just tap the 15, we're rejecting it immediately. Some sellers getting involved. Make a video about Porsche disadvantages and advantages. Bro, there's many advantages compared to disadvantages. I don't really think there's many disadvantages. Trying to think of a disadvantage. Do you rely on your sixth sense? No, I rely on my tingling fingers. I feel something on my tingling fingers when I feel the market speaking through me, through the vibrations of my screen. That's what I feel. In a joking way. But do I rely on a sixth sense? No, I rely on experience. That's what happens. It's experience. You can call it a sixth sense, but it's experience. Okay, so now we're trying again to continue some downside. Spider-Man probably a good trader? I wonder. Gold, oops. Just back in the range now. Gold looks very, very sideways at the moment. Nasdaq looks way more interesting. DAX looks more sideways. I think Nasdaq now is showing the most potential. But I don't like these 3 wicks rejection like this. Selling into this, not good. I'm trying to think what's the disadvantages of a Porsche. Or the one I have. Not much, man. It's a very well built car. I think that's why I bought it. Yeah. Not owning one? Yeah, that would be a disadvantage. A lot of fuel? No, that's not a disadvantage. And it doesn't take that much fuel, man. I mean, you know? And also, if you're complaining about fuel and you buy a naturally aspirated engine, is it a great daily car? Yes, it's not the best daily car, but do you buy that car for daily? How much is a full tank? Like $70, $60. You can't drive with your mates? Yeah, but that's the whole reason you don't buy that car, right? That's the point. You have to think about the perspective of you're buying this car for what it was made for. So you're not going to buy it to go out with your mates on the weekend. You're not going to buy it to save on fuel economy. You know what I mean? So it's not a disadvantage because it's not the reason you bought it for. So if this candle can sustain and close strong bearish like this, we might have some continuation sells. We'll have a second 15-minute candle closing bearish. We'll have strong candles here on the lower time frame. 5-minute, we'd have to probably go break of lowest low here. What's your daily car? Nissan Patrol. That's not even the best day because I modified that. All right, let's see how we close here. Like to see slightly stronger. This is not bad, but the stronger here, the better. Yeah, I just don't know now. This is looking a lot of rejection, so I think I need to wait for a 1-minute candle closing below here. And then probably run tight stops. So 1-minute candle close below, stop loss above some structure. We're at a 5-minute support on Nasdaq. Where have you pulled the 5-minute support from? We're below it, no? 1-minute closing will be directly below. Oh yeah, I don't use forex.com. Let's double check futures though, just in case you're right. Futures would be our caveat. No, futures fully clean. All right, let's see if this 1-minute candle closes below. On futures, it's at. No, but I'm talking about the 1-minute close. The 1-minute close is not at. All right, 8 seconds and we're rejecting here. Not closing below just yet. So we have to wait for the next 1 minute here. If it just breaks the low and blasts, then it's not my position. I don't want to be guessing here. Gold ranging. What's DAX doing? DAX trying to get below here, but you see DAX, we don't have the cleanest range. Nasdaq, great. So Nasdaq decided to take the dip below here. Heavy liquidity, now coming all the way back. So just a quick spike and now we're back to where we started. Makes it quite difficult. Yeah, taps you at break even there, then now starts to drive. Ooh, again rejection. Then we tap into this top of the gap here. Very difficult. Yeah, 5 is also possible. We have bullish 15, which kind of doesn't make us too comfortable there. We're aiming long or short. At the moment, we're short biased on Nasdaq, which is playing out. What's the signal for today? You tell me. Always asking, never giving. No top wick on 30. Let's see on broker. Have you seen on futures? I have on broker. Not sure on futures. There is one here. Tiny one. Nas might have gotten a few people. What did it do? It just keeps rejecting, right? It's not enough to pay. How big was this push down? 16 points. Not a big push. I feel once we lose this level on gold with a 15 at least, it will be good. No one answered me. Futures how? I guess I'll have to check myself. Yeah, futures we have no top wick. It's nipple? Oh yeah. CL 15 5 minutes looks great too. What do you mean CL? All my money's on red. Sheesh.
I think it's gold and futures.
Oh, US oil.
Oh, sorry.
Good. Let's see US oil. Yeah, that looks cool. Breaking out. Wanna do NY session this week? Yeah, message me, bro. Do you live stream every day? Yeah, Monday to Thursday. Thank you. This is my first time. Welcome, welcome. This might be the 5-year. Let's see in 2 minutes. What's going on with orange juice? We'll find out tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, full orange juice analysis. Make sure to show up to tomorrow's stream. This shit's still not going down, huh? Ranging. One hour support on gold, it's a little bit lower. Yeah. Just a little bit lower. So we can trade to there and see what happens. You can consider it for sure. But it's not right at, so we don't want to be too scared selling to something. If we tap it and start to reject, definitely. We should check it on futures as well. Futures, 1 hour. It's a little bit closer on futures, so we need to be faster on futures and see if we react off it. Not enough space? It's enough space, bro. It's 8 pips. 8 pips is enough. Again, you're scared of it. 8 pips you can get to break even. It's enough space to get to break even. With only 4 minutes to the 15, I kind of want to wait for the 15, not gonna lie. It's tough. Ooh, nice top wick now. Yeah, with this big top wick, I kind of trust it more now. See here, 15 minutes, we could get a little thunderstorm actually. 3 minutes, let's see. If we start to flip, I will consider probably entering half just to be involved. We saw it be pretty impulsive. If we close back in the range, then we're done anyways. I'm just gonna call it then. Also, I don't want it to close with rejection because that means 5 minute will close strong. I want rejection candles. I'm glad we didn't rush into anything here. Would have got in trouble. Unless I got to break even, but even if we took it impulsively, break of lows, you don't get paid, huh? 16 points, 27 points stop loss, no chance. Gold coming back in the range. Damn. What a boring session, actually. This is called protecting capital this session, right? You can see. Harry, in NYSE, a 1 minute candle closure is enough for entries? It's a whole different strategy, man. It's not as simple as that. It's like specific scenarios and stuff like that. You can't just like start trading the 1 minute like mad. Unless your name is Tony and it's Friday. If your name is Tony and it's Friday, then you can. Thanks, I need to go. Cheers, mate. Take care. You're talking about me? I don't know. Someone different, maybe. Alright, this is closing back in the range. Nasdaq also not closing back in the range, but if it does close back in the range, it could be interesting, especially with a break of structure. I'm gonna look at that in a bit, but now it's a bit early for me to take this trade. I need to see at least something get back inside the range so we don't use it as retest. DAX trying to get back inside the range, so if DAX does get back inside the range, also going to be valid for buys. But we might see this in another 30 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. So I'm going to wait for that. Appreciate you guys showing up. Much love. And hopefully catch you guys very, very soon. Take care. Trade sharp and peace. Cheers, guys.